What's going on, everybody? It's Ted again here with CountdownToGeeks.com. Got another fantastic interview for you. I am joined today by writer and director of the film Altered, Timo Vuorensola, and star of Altered, Elizaveta Bugulova. How are you both?
Me? I'm great.
Me too.
Yeah, we're very good. Thank you. Thank you. How you doing?
This was a great surprise of a film. Number one, I'm a huge fan of Mr. Felton, Tom Felton, who I watched growing up on the Harry Potter films, and this film is set in this wonderful, I'm gonna say wonderful but beautiful landscape of this futuristic sort of state of the world. And Timu, where did you come up first off with this story, and then just how did you execute this grand landscape of the future that you created?
Well, I mean, the story itself sort of came by basically looking around and sort of sensing what's in the zeitgeist or the atmosphere and sort of picking those little bits and pieces, reading what's on the news, where the technology is going. And I actually that was something that really got me because when you do a science fiction film, you have to sort of, you want to pick a topic that hasn't been also beaten to absolute death. And I wanted to choose something that was what was an interesting one, which was technological advancement, not necessarily digital sort of AI and all that. That's been done quite a bit, but the one where we're going as a biological creatures and how much we're going to start altering our biological physical being, who we are as a creatures. And I think that was something that I didn't find like, I found it like something that hasn't been spoken about lately so much, yet it's definitely in the horizon of the next technological advancements if you look at where the things are going. So for me, sort of the story started to take form in there, but I think the way that I created the world physically there on the screen, it actually all started with like trying to find the right place, and then we found Astana, which is a science fiction setting itself. You walk in there, you feel like you're in a Star Wars city, and it's like you just go and pick there, and it's like you already have this grand backdrop of telling a story, and that was really helpful and very nice to be able to do that.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I kept thinking to myself, like, wow, this is some of the best world building I've seen in quite a long time. And for an indie film, it's mostly unheard of. So congrats on
Thank you.
pulling off that aesthetic and really giving that futuristic feel to the film itself. Let's talk to Lizzie. Lizzie, tell us how you got involved with Altered.
Um, I've always wanted to participate in an international project, and luckily the production has been in search for a young actress with strong English speaking skills. And just when I learned about the news, I immediately reached out and sent my slate. Just a couple of days later, my agent called with the news that I had been invited to self-tape audition. I remember that day very well. I had to film three huge scenes, and I was honestly pretty short on free time, but fortunately, my family stepped in to help. My mom took charge of the technical setup, adjusting the lighting, positioning the camera on her phone, and meanwhile, my brother, he became my scene partner. He was feeding me lines Leon had in the scenes as I was rehearsing, and I think that it truly was a team effort. We managed to finish just before the deadline. I sent off the tapes and I just I was hoping for the best. And a few months later, I got the call. They told me I'd gotten the part, and it truly was an incredible moment for me. I couldn't believe that it was happening to me, and by this day, I still think that all of this is just surreal and just a dream.
Oh my gosh, I love hearing that. You must have had an absolute fantastic time working with Tom. Tell us where exactly the two of you guys met. What discussions did you have on set? How did you kind of build that chemistry with one another? Like, what was that process like for you?
The chemistry, it didn't even need time to build up because the first moments when we met at a table read, and the moment we saw each other, it was already something surreal. It was I think that Tom is a very supportive, loving partner, and he is just such a professional actor. I think I was so glad to work with him, and just right off the first moments, it was kind of clear that we're gonna get a beautiful bond between us, and it really was so interesting and so fun. We're always having fun on the set. It was never too serious. We were always talking about stuff that we like, and I think that having this beautiful, friendly vibe on the set is really important. So
Oh,
yeah, this was just
absolutely.
so fun.
Timo, I'll go to you next. When did you either realize or did you always want for this role, and what were your kind of feelings and emotions when you found out he was going to be cast for this part?
Yeah, it was like when I wrote it, I had like a very clear picture of what kind of qualities I'm going to be looking for. And I realized it's not really easy to find somebody who has a sense of humor, who is a fantastic actor, who has a great big heart, and all of those things. Like it's not an easy thing. But Tom Felton's name was very quickly on top of my head. It's like I would love because I've obviously seen him in Harry Potter, but also in so many other things which he's
Yeah,
done. And he's such a versatile actor, which I was I was very happy when eventually we approached, and then I think it was like a little bit of it was at the tail end of COVID, so it was like it was still a little bit of a mess when it comes into things, and I then eventually I flew to UK and met him in this completely empty like a restaurant because it was all still COVID restrictions or something going on, and we sat down together. And the point was we're just going to talk for 15, 20 minutes and all that. But we ended up sitting there for, I think, 2 hours just discussing the character, discussing science fiction, discussing the world. And that was very important moment when I knew that that's a great lock. But of course, then the big question is because this is so heavily reliant on Chloe and Leon and the chemistry between there. But then on the day when they first met on the table read, like Lizzie told, I was just like, I realized right there, right then, like, all right, I got a movie here because I saw the chemistry that right away sparked between these two fantastic actors and how supportive they became. It was like a sister and brother right away from the beginning. I was like, I couldn't believe that they hadn't known each other for 20 years and they were able to annoy each other and help each other and make each other laugh. And I was like, I never seen anything like that. So I was like, okay, here we go. This is something to work on.
That's true. We became friends like right off the start.
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I love hearing that. You called this film a science fiction film, and I did feel that, but also I feel like it crosses multiple genres, and you also have so many twists and turns in it. Like I was really surprised with sort of the big swings and how ambitious you were with this movie. Is it always sort of your writing style to include a story that kind of crosses over multiple genres? And are you always looking for that sort of twist or that sort of reveal, that big reveal in all your films?
Yeah, I think it is something that I enjoy the most working on. It's like you got to have something you really want to show to the audience. It's like and also surprise them and try to keep on surprising them so that it's not just an execution of some kind of a world like here's what happens, but actually like there are twists and turns. So I do enjoy that, and yeah, it's just something that. Uh, I do like when writing is like I really want to challenge the story itself because stories are relatively easy to write, but to make them really find some of some of the corners that are unexpected, some of the developments that are unexpected because we've seen all the movies. I mean, I can see behind you like all this amazing stuff, which means that you've seen all the movies. So it's gonna be hard to surprise nowadays any kind of a genre appreciating viewer. So you have to really push that envelope and try to find the tricks and things. And I do find it funny. If of course the point is the story and the character, that's the point, not the surprise. I'm not
Mm,
here to, write story just to surprise. But like if you're able to start putting those in there, it just really makes the experience a little bit more worthwhile, I think so.
I completely agree. Lizzie, you mentioned you've always wanted to work sort of on an international film project. What is kind of your takeaway from all this? Was it everything you thought it would be? What have you learned from this experience? And what is it that you're going to take with you going forward?
All of the expectations that I had, they kind of they were there. I think that um, off the start, I was really nervous about how is this gonna be? How am I gonna communicate with everyone? I was so scared, and because we had such a supportive, nice crew, and also thank you, Timo, for keeping such a friendly atmosphere on the set. Everything just it was so natural. Everything was so nice and fun, and I don't think there were any hardships we've been through. And I think that it was so flowy and nice, and I kind of it was a great experience for me. It was pretty hard. The work itself is really big, and I think um, it's it was a very, very important project for me.
And also, I have to say, like Lizzie, you really aced it on the set, on the like the professionalism that you brought there was something that I've very rarely seen. And also, I can tell you, Lizzie's role was not an easy one. I mean, she
Mm.
had to go through all the possible things, and she was basically almost on the screen all the time. Like it was relentless for Lizzie, and I think she was just a real champion of the project.
I'm really happy you like what we did in the end.
Yeah.
I love hearing all of this. This is wonderful. Alter is a great sci-fi film. There's a lot of great twists and turns. If anybody wants to see Tom Felton in sort of this dual sci-fi, dare I say, action role, I don't want to give away too much because I feel like it was a great roller coaster ride, really not knowing what was going to happen next in the story. So I really appreciate that. Timo, I want to take just 1 second and just say something about another project that you were a part of, and so apologies for going off on a tangent here. I am a
Sure.
massive fan of the Jeepers Creepers franchise,
All right. Yeah.
and I you took the franchise for a project, and I want to commend you on your story because I saw what you were doing and I saw what you went for, and I was like, wow, this is actually a really fantastic take and a really solid effort on revitalizing the franchise. So I want to commend you, sir, because I've been wanting that franchise to flourish for a long time, and it's been unsuccessful so far. But you gave it a solid attempt, and it was a great story, and it was meta, and it was trying to do something bold with the character. And so, yeah, I want to commend you on your film. I really appreciated it, and I still want to see the franchise flourish one day. Maybe we'll get it. Who knows?
Thank you very much, Ted. It warms my heart, warms my heart to hear that. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Let's hope
Uh,
for the best for that franchise as well.
Yes, absolutely. Hope for the best. Altered is now streaming on video on demand, so check
Mhm.
out your local listings, see where you can check it out. And I want to thank Lizzie and Timo for taking the time to speak to me today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ted. It was
Yes.
really nice talking with you.